Ducks Unlimited has done sufficient work in conservation initiatives throughout the Mississippi Flyway, but the organization needs to divert their funding to changing their marketing techniques in order to improve the image and engage with a broader audience. So let's talk about what Ducks Unlimited and the Mississippi Flyway are. The Mississippi Flyway is a waterfowl migration route ranging from the Canadian province of Manitoba all the way down to southern states of Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama. It's divided into 4 zones: the Great Lakes Basin, the Prairie Pothole region, the Mississippi Alluvial Valley, and the Gulf Coast. Ducks Unlimited is an organization devoted to conservation, restoration, and management of a variety of wetlands for the bettering of waterfowl, wildlife, and people. The people involved with Ducks Unlimited are engineers, government officials, outdoorsmen, conservationists, and a multitude of scientists.
You may be asking yourself, why would conservation be important to me if I'm not one of the individuals previously stated? Well, conservation has an impact on all of us. It affects the health of the environment by providing clean air and water. It affects food security by building ecosystems with biodiversity that support agricultural systems, increasing food production. Conservation promotes preservation practices that work parallel with climate change. It affects flood and erosion, which can be controlled and prevent some of the damage of natural disasters. It can provide educational opportunities with programs advocating for environmental awareness. It can also affect the culture by bringing the public together through recreation and enriching a society of people.
It is important for DU to start stressing this information before they see a decrease in engagement.
In fact, many states in the South have started to turn their back on Ducks Unlimited because they feel as if they're sending all their money to the North.
Ducks Unlimited disperses their money to locations they feel need it the most at the time. This is why the Prairie Pothole region up north receives more, because it is crucial breeding grounds. Ducks won't migrate to the south if they don't have somewhere to increase the population to begin with.
A big issue is that individuals in southern states of the Flyway may not understand the harsh reality behind government relationships and conservation efforts. When it comes to federal grants, all organizations are offered an equal opportunity, but it is up to the state as an individual to choose who they will use to complete the project.
As I am on my mission to find out whether or not Ducks Unlimited has done enough for conservation in the Mississippi Flyway, I wanted to explore an area close to home with the project. Come with me to Sherburne Wildlife Management Area to learn from a hands-on approach and determine if their work is sufficient or not.
Hi, my name is Clare Murray, and I'm out here today at Sherburne Wildlife Management Area in Iberville Parish, Louisiana. This management area is located between 2 of Louisiana's metropolitan cities, Lafayette and Baton Rouge.
This southern portion of the Mississippi Flyway is crucial to the Mississippi Alluvial Valley. Sherburne is more specifically located in the Morganza floodway of the Atchafalaya River, better known as the Spillway. The Coastal Protection and Restoration Authority, Louisiana Department of Wildlife and Fisheries, Ducks Unlimited, and U.S. Army Corps of Engineers designed a levee system for Sherburne.
This levee was built as a form of protection for the ecosystem and waterfowl and other species that migrate to the area or inhabit it year-round.
Sugarcane and soybeans are managed at Sherburne. These are 2 staple crops in Louisiana. Both provide nutritional value to native species and enhance soil fertility. In turn, there are more food sources and a healthier ecosystem. The farm is actively managed to provide quality wintering habitat for waterfowl. You will see lots of infrastructure associated with moist soil management, much of which was established in cooperation with DU.
Now let's look at Ducks Unlimited's work in the Midwest. A lot of people think this organization is joining forces with the agricultural industry to change waterfowl migration patterns.
Private farmers and states are using their money for environmental sustainability, which benefits the farmers and wildlife.
Many duck hunters spread conspiracies about DU. For example, they think that the organization baits certain wetlands, have heated ponds in the north, and have nets to trap waterfowl in the breeding grounds. Dr. Mike Brazier, who is the senior waterfowl scientist at Ducks Unlimited, explained to me that while these theories may be difficult to disprove, there is enough data to explain the tendencies of waterfowl over the years.
Stop River states in the Midwest are now wintering grounds because of climate change. Their lakes aren't freezing over since we're experiencing warmer temperatures nationally.
This leaves waterfowl with a great habitat to winter in, and they don't have to travel as far. Ducks Unlimited isn't making waterfowl winter at higher latitudes on purpose.
So, what should Ducks Unlimited do moving forward? They need to have somewhat of a rebrand and improve on what they're currently doing. They need to make it known how their mission affects everyone, not just conservationists and duck hunters. One way Ducks Unlimited can increase engagement is by utilizing digital media to maximize exposure. Social media is such a huge component of reaching a wider audience in today's world. Their infographics are amazing, but they need to focus more on gaining views. They need to use platforms like Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. Their social media team needs to follow trends while gaining interest and still being informative. We see the Ducks Unlimited logo everywhere, but do we truly understand what it represents? How can Ducks Unlimited make their mission known through a simple duck head? Well, for starters, Ducks Unlimited can diversify partnerships with companies and other nonprofit organizations. They have to continue working with other brands and organizations to promote and advertise the mission. This relates to sponsorships as well. A sense of social responsibility with companies demonstrates their corporate commitment.
One of the most significant aspects to gaining more support for Ducks Unlimited is by enhancing education and outreach at a local level. Ducks Unlimited has to focus on their future, so they need to start looking at younger generations now. Students from college chapters, regional directors, volunteers, and employees in each state have to start going to surrounding schools, ag classes,
FFA conventions, or 4-H meetings to discuss the importance of conservation and teach kids what Ducks Unlimited is all about. They also have to offer these kids leadership and volunteer opportunities to maintain their interest in the organization for years to come. It is also important to look at what Ducks Unlimited can do to keep current members involved. For example, they should promote the experience and expertise of these members and highlight volunteer work.
Ducks Unlimited is the leader in conservation, but there are so many more people behind this accomplishment. The fundraising staff could keep track of the hours put in by the over 30,000 volunteers to make them stand out more.
Marketing the work of volunteers at local chapters could also entice people in their community to invest their time in the organization and wetlands around them.
It is imperative that Ducks Unlimited takes the initiative to ensure that conservation, restoration, and management projects across the Mississippi Flyway are recognized no matter how big or small. This will aid them in transforming their image to create a better name for the organization.